Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan.
And this is from our top 10 AFC prediction video. There is a name on here, which we're going to be talking about a lot today. Number 3, Andrew Luck. It's actually not even coming off, isn't it good? But he's coming off there, so just want to make that point. And we're going to talk a lot more about that right now as we are doing our Colts deep dive. So would anyone like to start off? We're doing this a little bit differently, by the way. Instead of just going for defense, offense, special teams, we're going to have a little more conversation here. Make it a little more interesting for you guys to watch. So, let's just start by talking about Andrew Luck and all that. So, do you want? I understand. Let's talk about the reaction first. First of all, I reacted very poorly to this because if you had seen other videos, our most popular video, actually, our Super Bowl video, I said that the Colts were going to win the Super Bowl, and Andrew Luck was going to be MVP. Yeah. Now, obviously, that can't happen anymore because Andrew Luck retired. So I was mad. However, that does not give, especially to the fans that were there, fans of Andrew Luck, he's been there for 7 years, played for 6 years. You should not be booing your quarterback.
Agreed.
And he's not going to retire for no reason. He did have a reason. Obviously, if it wasn't as bad as he says it was, he would have played it through the season, but it was really bad. So what do you guys think? You agree with that?
Oh yeah, I really agree with everything you said. And I understand, believe me, the Colts fans and that entire city of Indianapolis, they have every right in the world to be shocked, disappointed, confused. But I really feel like those fans booing, while it was wrong, I feel like it was just kind of a knee-jerk reaction. They were just so surprised. They didn't even think about it. But I feel like a lot of those fans, when they went home, I hope they had a chance to really reflect on why he retired once more detailed news broke out, and really just think about, because all of the good memories that Andrew Luck gave the Colts. Because really, I mean, sure, it wasn't as long as we expected, but Andrew Luck did lead the Colts on some good deep playoff runs, especially even making it as far as the AFC title game.
I think you put that pretty perfectly. I think that the fans would have gone home, and I think they could have been disappointed themselves. Like we've all said, we're all shocked. I saw that on my phone. Actually, he texted me and Tyler, and I saw it, and he's texted us stuff before, and it's been fake. So I was like, there's no way it's true. I go on the internet, it's all over. And I knew when Ian Rappaport said it that it was true, because
Rap says it's true.
At Rap
Shoot. Reliable source.
You know, it was very shocking, and I think, like you said, the booing was just a jerk reaction. It was just like, you know, they just weren't really thinking, and I think they were just all mad and disappointed. They didn't really understand. And I mean, Luck hadn't gave a speech either, he hadn't explained anything, so they were all kind of confused. And although what they did is bad, I can't really blame them completely because they were frustrated, and I mean, their season is somewhat going to waste unless Jacoby Brissett can really do something good. But we'll be talking about that probably right now.
Yeah, so obviously Jacoby Brissett, as of right now, highest quarterback on the Colts depth chart. How far can he take the Colts?
I think it's going to be difficult. One thing I do want to point out is, shout out to Chris Sims, by the way, I'm about to say something. I believe from his top 40 list, this is just off the top of my head because I enjoy watching Chris Sims, but I think he had Jacoby Brissett at 31, which puts him in the top 32 quarterbacks. And in case you don't know, there are 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So he's good enough to be at the latter end of the starting quarterbacks. So I don't think all hope is lost for the Colts, but obviously they're not going to be as good as they were when they had Andrew Luck there.
Quick side note, notice a new table.
Yeah.
Nothing good, but anyways.
Love the table upgrade.
There should be more coming soon. Hopefully, we'll see. But anyways,
gotta love it.
Back to Brissett. If anyone wants to say anything, I'll say something very quickly. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is a bad quarterback. I think what he'll be able to do is he'll be able. I mean, he has the weapons. He's got Ty. He's got Ebron. He's got Doyle. I mean, he's got Funchess. He's got all these guys coming in. And I mean, he's got talent around him. One of the best, not maybe even the best offensive line in the league, and their defense is improving. So the Colts, they're not completely out of it completely yet. And Jacoby Brissett, he's gone through. He's played behind Tom Brady, so he kind of knows some of that stuff. He's played behind Andrew Luck, some really good quarterbacks, and I think that although I don't think they're going to make the playoffs anymore, which I'm sure we're going to get to in a second here, I think that there's still going to be a decent team and that the players are going to work together pretty well. So
yeah, can I just add something real quick about Brissett? I remember one time back during Brady's. Excuse you?
Sorry. Website.
I remember one time it was week 3 of the year that Brady was serving his 4-game suspension. So and Brady suspended, and Garoppolo was hurt. It was a Thursday night football game. Texans at Patriots. Brissett was starting, and the Patriots won 27-0. So as a Texans fan, I'm not completely dismissing Jacoby Brissett. However, I don't see the Colts as much of a threat offensively. But Jacoby Brissett, he's been behind Tom Brady, Andrew Luck, and obviously Bill Belichick, and then Frank Reich. So good coaches and quarterbacks. So he's definitely been in good situations when it comes to who's in the QB and coach room with him.
And he has a better team around him on offense. The offensive line was improved when they got Quentin Nelson last year. They already had a solid offensive line. And obviously, Anthony Costanzo being there for so long, Andrew Luck actually thanked him greatly, like pointed him out specifically after he said everyone else and said thank you to him. And they've had him, but obviously getting Quentin Nelson helps too. Paris Campbell in the draft. T.Y. Hilton's still there. Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle. There's a whole bunch of weapons for him to throw to. So I think it's going to be better than it was last time he was a starter in 2017 when they went 4-12. But it's going to be difficult, obviously, because it's so sudden. Everyone's going to be shocked. But Ryan said this in his other channel, which I thought was a good point. They just got to forget about it and just move on and start playing like Andrew Luck was never on this team.
It's tough, but you got to do it. I mean, you got 2 weeks to prepare for the opening day against the Chargers. You don't really have much else of a choice.
Yep, we're going to see what's happening. Now, speaking of the opening day against the Chargers, we're going to do what we usually do in this video. We're going to go through each game and predict the record for the Colts
Let's do it.
this season. So, first game is Colts at Chargers. I say the Chargers will win that game.
Chargers win.
Chargers win.
All right, next game, Colts at Titans. I believe the Colts will win.
I disagree.
I agree with Jordan. Colts win.
Next game, Falcons at Colts. I believe the Falcons will take that one.
Yeah, Falcons got too much offensive power.
I'm going to give that to the Colts because it's early on in the year for the Falcons. If this were later on, I would say the Falcons.
I'm liking the Falcons this year. Raiders at Colts.
I'm going to give it to Indy.
I'm going to give it to Indy as well.
I'll give it to the Colts.
Colts at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
No way Brissett keeps up with Mahomes.
Yep. Week 6 is a bye week. Week 7 is Texans at Colts.
Texans.
I believe the Colts are going to be able to take that game.
I'm saying Texans.
Tyler has the Texans beating the Colts. Wow.
Wow.
What a crazy video this is.
I know, it's
Yep.
crazy.
Next game, Broncos at Colts. I say Colts.
The horse team.
Colts.
Yep, they're both horses.
The Colts.
Next game, Colts at Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers on that one.
Yep.
Steelers.
Next game, Dolphins at Colts. I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one, actually.
Really? I'm going to give this one to the Colts. I mean, Dolphins, who knows who's starting for them at quarterback at this point.
I'm saying Colts as well.
Interesting.
I didn't say that.
Next one is Jaguars at Colts. I think the Colts will be able to take that one.
Give it to Indy.
Colts.
Next one, Colts at Texans. I'm going to give this one to the Texans.
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 Next one, Titans at Colts. I'm going to give this one to the Colts.
Indy takes it.
I'm giving the Colts.
All right, next one, Colts at Bucks. I'm going to give this one to the Bucks here.
I'm going to give it to the Colts. I think the Colts can beat Tampa on the road.
I'm giving it to the Colts.
Talked about Jameis Winston in the video. Go check that video out. It's going to be interesting this year. But side note there. Next one, Colts at Saints. I think Saints got
Breeze and Thomas are too much.
Yeah.
Agreed, Saints.
I don't care who's quarterback in the Colts.
Mm-hmm. Next game, Panthers at Colts. I'm going to take the Panthers on that one.
I'm going to take the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts as well.
I'm not as high on the Panthers as some people.
Me neither. I don't really like the Panthers, to be honest. But next game, Colts at Jaguars, week 17. I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Yeah, Jags feel like winning this one.
Yeah, Jaguars for me too.
All right, so who'd like to start with what the Colts' final record is, and maybe how about when you share your final record, say what you had them finishing prior to the Luck retirement, so we can kind of see the big impact.
Okay. I'll start. I had them going 13-3. I had them being the best team in the NFL this year. Now I have them going 9-7, which is not terrible. It's not. Yeah, I know.
That's still playoff caliber.
It's wild card caliber. It's not division winning. I'm giving that to the Texans now.
Yeah.
I had them going 11-5. Go watch our Texans deep dive video if you want to hear more about that. But I think even losing Andrew Luck, I've said it multiple times, there's too much talent on this team. All the new draft picks that are coming in, even from last year, all the sophomores now, this is going to be even better than they were last year. I think that's going to be enough to keep them at a good pace this year and give them a shot for the wild card. And I talked about this in our Texans and Colts video too, but I just want to bring this up quickly here. The Colts have so much cap space now. I was talking to Ryan about this earlier. that they can be back in the same spot that they could have been with Andrew Luck next year if they draft well or get a good free agent at quarterback and just go for anyone because they didn't use much cap space this year. So I'm giving them 9-7.
All right, I have the Colts finishing 7-9. I originally had them going 11-5 and finishing second in the AFC South. I think this drops them to third in the AFC South. No playoffs. The Colts had some tough games go before this whole Andrew Luck thing happened. They got at Kansas City, Houston twice, the Saints, the Chargers, the Falcons. So they had a tough schedule to begin with. But really, just looking at some of the teams that the Colts play, like there's no way a Jacoby Brissett-led team could keep up with guys like Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, and Drew Brees. Just those are some of the better quarterbacks in the league, and I just don't think Jacoby Brissett has the power to keep the Colts, in those games. And, I didn't have the Colts winning the division at all, but really I just think that this kind of brings them back down to kind of a mediocre team. I do think they're still better than Tennessee. I do definitely see some winnable games. I think they could beat Oakland and Denver and Miami at home. There's some winnable games here, but just somehow that quarterback position, the way it demoralizes the team, and really it happened so soon. Like the regular season is the first Sunday of the regular season is 2 weeks from today. So, like, it's not like they went through a whole training camp thinking Andrew Luck was going to be their starter. They went through all the OTAs, the draft, and now 2 weeks before the season, boom, your world just turned upside down. So, had the Colts had more time to prepare for this, maybe I could see Tyler's point of them still being a playoff caliber team. But just this suddenly, I just don't see the Colts getting more than 7 wins.
Yeah, they built their team around Andrew Luck, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
So, my record is at 6-10. I don't remember exactly what I had them going at before, but I think it was in the 12-4 range. And honestly, I think that 6-10. I think they might go a little higher than that. I think they might win some of these closer games. Ryan kind of said how he doesn't believe that Jacoby Brissett's going to be able to keep up with in these top caliber teams, but I believe that the team around him is pretty good, and that's going to help him. And if Frank Reich could scheme around these teams and figure out teams, which, I mean, they're the best team, or they play Falcons in 3. Talk about the Falcons, they play Chiefs in 5. So those might be difficult games, but once it gets to the ends with the Saints and stuff, maybe they're going to be able to find things that they could do as a defense and as an offense to try to stop these teams. So I do think they're going to be in a lot of games. I don't think that they're going to be a really bad team, but I think according to my record, I think they're going to go 6-10. I was originally thinking 8-8, but 6-10 is what I got off the record, and maybe they're going to win some of these closer games that I didn't give them. We'll see. So it's going to be interesting to find that out this year.
Very interesting. And we did not talk much about the defense. We talked a lot about the offense and who's surrounded by Jacoby Brissett. So I feel like we should just do that for a little bit. Obviously, the star of the defense right now, Darius Leonard.
No doubt.
Oli Cooker at safety. No doubt, as Ryan said, is Darius Leonard. Ben Vonnegut, they drafted. They got Rocky Sin in the draft as well. A lot of good players that around there. Got Justin Houston on free agency. He's getting old, but we'll see if he can make an impact for them. The defensive line is actually not too bad. It's an underrated defensive line. I would say they'll be maybe around 10 to 15 ranked defense this year. What do you guys think about that?
I could say that. Maybe about the 12 range.
Yes, but if they want to be a good team, then their defense is gonna have to step up.
For
because
sure.
it's gonna take at least a little bit for the offense to get used to the rhythm of having Jacoby Brissett as a starting quarterback.
Just on the short notice, really, that's the killer.
And the offensive line as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
important as well.
one last thing I want to bring up to everyone here. You're the Colts. What's your plan for the quarterback position for this year and then next year and beyond? How do you approach this now that Luck is gone?
I think it depends on what their record is this year. If they end up going like what they did in 2017, like a 4-12 record, that's gonna be good enough for them to go out in the draft and get Justin Herbert or Jake Fromm or Tua Tagovailoa. But if not, maybe you don't even take a quarterback. You just get one in free agency. I don't know who's going to be a free agent next year. Or you wait. You could wait next year and just take your chances on getting Trevor Lawrence.
That's true. He's a stud.
So, I don't know. That's a risky play there. We'll see how it goes.
Well, what I would do if I'm the Colts, I would just, roll with Brissett this year, short notice. I mean, I feel like 2 weeks before the season, if you want any chance, you can't just bring in a guy or make a trade because he's got so little time. Brissett at least knows the system and has been with Frank Reich and that team for a little bit. And what I would do is just have Jacoby Brissett play out the year, unless things get absolutely terrible. Just keep it in, play out the year. Just try and use that talent that's still there. And then once you get to like 2020, I really think that you should draft a young quarterback, like one of the big three that were just mentioned. I think those are all going to be guys that could go top 10 in the draft. If the draft was today, at least there's a lot of time between now and then, but I think they all have the potential to go in that range. So you got tons of options. You can trade up always. And what I think is draft one of those guys, keep Brissett, and then if your first round quarterback in 2020 is ready, start him. If not, no worry. You got Brissett. Use Brissett as a bridge quarterback. So I would kind of keep Brissett to kind of be that kind of bridge guy until the Colts' next franchise quarterback is ready. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like what I was going to say is I believe that the Colts, their team is built in position so that they are trying to win now. Of course, they do have a lot of cap space. They have a lot of room to bring in a quarterback if they wanted to. But I agree with what Ryan said. They should. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to be a decent quarterback for this team. So I think that they should draft someone and then decide, is he ready to play, or are we going to give Jacoby another year, or anything of those sorts. And like Tyler said, I don't know what free agents are coming available. I'm actually going to look it up right now. But I think they should try to draft someone if they are early. If they're later, they can look to free agency because they have lots of cap space.
Yes, and Ryan made a good point earlier where he's talking about if they have a low record and they draft a rookie quarterback, do something very similar to what we're seeing with Dwayne Haskins this year. Earlier today, actually, it got announced that Case Keenum was going to be the starter. So let him sit, do what Baker Mayfield did last year as well. And even Josh Rosen this year, if Ryan Fitzpatrick ends up being the starter. I know Ryan Fitzpatrick's, or not, I'm sorry, I know Josh Rosen's not a rookie. Ryan Fitzpatrick's definitely not a rookie. But that's not the worst idea. And then while Jordan's looking for that, also I want to point out the draft here. They did not have any first round picks, but they took advantage of their draft class and got some solid picks. So their first pick was it Paris Campbell or no? It's Paris Campbell first. Yeah, that was their first pick. A great pick for the second round. Some people had him going in the first round. Ended up being a second round prospect. I am very high on Paris Campbell. What do you think about Paris Campbell?
I think I think he'll be a solid maybe number 3 receiver. I think he's fast, but I mean that only goes so far. John Ross broke the record for the 40-yard dash in his career. Didn't pan out, so I don't think you could go all based on that. But he's fast, but I think his production will go down with Brissett throwing to him. Not really his fault, but just especially it's a lot different when you got one of the better quarterbacks of the game throwing you, then you go to a backup. So, I think he's got potential. I don't think it's going to be day one, but I think if he gets proper development and is able to use his speed to get past, get separation, I think he could have a good solid career. I don't think he's any DeAndre Hopkins or Michael Thomas, but he'll be serviceable. I know you think he's better than DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas, but
it's not true.
All right, so this is not a very updated website that I'm on right now because it has people like Russell Wilson who recently signed contracts, as well as Tom Brady. He also signed an extension, but I am. Dak Prescott, that's another thing to talk about right now. He's asking for $40 million.
Yeah.
He
don't know about that.
Better not get that, to be honest here.
He's
But
not
Dak
really
Prescott is available. I don't know if Drew Brees signed a contract. Did he? Did he sign a contract?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
Phillip Rivers, I do not believe he signed one. And then there's also Jacoby Brissett is also going to be a free agent after this year. So that's going to be interesting to see if they're going to sign him back. So,
They should.
Yeah, I think they should. I believe Ben Roethlisberger is as well. Eli Manning, I don't know if they'd want Eli
I
Manning.
think Ben Roethlisberger.
And then Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, they could be available if their teams don't want them after this year. So it's going to be interesting. They'll have options, so it's going to be interesting to see what Frank Reich and Jim Irsay and their staff people decide to do.
Staff people.
All right, and then just to finish out the draft here, just get these guys. We're just going to mention the names. Rocky Sin, also a good prospect. Ben Vonnegut, I talked about both those guys earlier. Bobby Okereke, Gary Willis, or Kari, I'm not sure. Marvell Tell III, EJ Speed. Speed, he's a linebacker, so that would help him. Jerry Green, Jackson Barton, Javon Patterson, and that's it. No first round picks, but they took advantage. So I think we're done, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm speaking for all of us when I say congrats, Andrew Luck, on an amazing career. You really made the most of it that you were there, and we all respect your decision. Even me,
We
he
sure
was
do.
very upset with what
He
what
was
happened.
not very happy.
No, I was not. But You're one of the nicest guys to ever come into the NFL. A ton of respect for you across the entire table and throughout the NFL. Thank you so much for what you did in this league.
You crossed all 100 yards of this table. Actually, 120. Yep.
And with that, after that, thank you. I also like to thank you guys for watching this video.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And we'll see you guys later.
Yep.
See
See you
ya.
guys.